New mic, so you know I gotta give y'all a little rhyme. Whoever gets this might get a sticker or some piece of merch because I need to know what my real rap and hip hop heads are. But let me get started. If you could tell me the name of the song and the artist, I might send you something. I will send you something. Fuck that. How about that? Because I'll be impressed. All right, y'all ready? Three, two, one. Hey, yo, sit back, kick up your feet up on my glass table. Grab the remote, baby, check my niggas on cable. I got the Hey Love album, plus Joda said, wrote us up, the easy waters near the ashtray. Full moon, skunk weed up in the room. You got the munchies, ice cold milk and Lord of Dooms. How you like it, baby? I like it on the sink. You freak me, butt naked in a long make. And I like it pair with you all. Steady is law, play it off. If my wife calls, you're my cousin Dawn. Solomon had many wives. I see many knobs. Stab meat like knives. I'm tricked by your cheeky eyes. Bad racial slur there, Ghostface. Oh, I just gave it away. Damn. Yo, raise up, baby. It's a stick up, throw your legs up. You freak in the morning, cause at midnight you gave up. You had me harder than a roll of quarters. You felt the snake can't, you can't cuff, you can't fuck. Give me Aquazed. Grab the icebox winch, grab me a bearer. Can't explain it no clearer. You be the one lately staring in the mirror. Jodeci style, KC, JoJo, Dalvin, Devontae, make hits all day like Harry Belafonte. Yo, yes, y'all check it. You see them W's, yo, it be the Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. Jodeci joint, pulling ladies like a hamstring. Tonight, I need your body. Tonight, you've got my time. Who? Somebody be in the chat, slicing it up like Casey, JoJo, Dalvin, Devontae. My niggas make hits all day like Harry Belafonte. I'm sorry. What's up? What's up, y'all? I gave the answer all the way, so nobody wins nothing, unfortunately. Excuse me. Whoopsie. I let that slip. Y'all wasn't supposed to hear that. I have a tiny bit of a tickle in my throat. Kind of sucks. But at least I got my little Ghostface verse out. So there's that. We will render the show a success. It counts as a W. Welcome, everybody, to Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the Tuesday edition. What's up, Afra? I know you knew that, Joan, in there. We got a good show in store for you. What's up, Dawn? Can you play it off? Islam, you my cousin Dawn. Yes, I went up to Afraid Not. Thank you all so much for checking us out, for coming through. Please be sure to hit the like, the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I surely would appreciate it. Anyway, I'm very glad to see you guys here tonight. We have a wonderful program in store for you today. What are we doing in here tonight? Several things. So we will be talking about the stuffs. What's going on in Ohio, everybody? If you ever want to see a news story die a corporate media death, look no further than this Ohio train derailment with an accompanying chemical spill story. Look no further than that, guys. This train derailed back in East Palestine, Ohio. Was this the 3rd, the 4th of February, roughly about 10 days ago? And the residents there are very clearly perturbed because they have been given the all clear to return back to their homes. They've even been told, well, it has since been contradicted, but initially they were told that the water was safe to drink. Meanwhile, the fish swimming in that exact same water are all dead. So make it make some fucking sense, shall we? I want to talk about that. Also, I want to talk about a story that happened here in DC. And I want to get into, we talk a lot about, obviously, police violence, police brutality, and police murder on this program. But one aspect of police violence is when police use such force that they actually disable people. They don't kill them, but they, in effect, change those persons' lives for the remainder of their lives because of an encounter with police in which the police wanted to do excessive violence. So there was such a case that has happened here in Washington, D.C., and I want to get into that momentarily. And big up to my guy, Infinite Content. Peace, Imani. Happy belated birthday, baby girl. Imani, I'll be looking at the chat like I should be, so I didn't realize it was your birthday. over the weekend, I think it was. So happy birthday to our Fire Fam member, Imani now. But I wanted to acknowledge another Fire Fam member. Big up to Infinite Content. Infinite Content tagged me on the story. Jesus, I can't believe I'm kind of getting sick. You guys, I promise you, I did not go to a super spreader event at the Super Bowl. I went to my mama's house. I went to my mama's house, and we did have a couple people come over. And now I have a tickle in my throat. But I don't think it's COVID. I'm hoping against hope that it's not COVID. But I'm sorry. Let me finish what the fuck I'm saying. Clearly, I'm starting to maybe not feel so great. But Infinite Content tagged me on a story out of Philly, and I appreciate Infinite Content keeping me apprised of what's happening in Philadelphia. That is where I went to college. I love the shit out of Philly. Philly is about its city. But make no mistake, like the rest of these East Coast cities, Philly is racist than a motherfucker. Okay? And there was a racist event about a week ago that went viral because a woman posted videos from her god sister's Snapchat, videos of white girls painting themselves in blackface using racial slurs and allegedly sending these videos to black students of this particular Catholic high school in Philadelphia, where there's been some action taken against those racist little Beckys. And I'll be more than happy to tell you all about it at the end of the program. But let me big up to my folks. If I can talk without coughing, and I cannot make no promises about that. Give me 1 second. Hold on. That joint has a little bit of heft to it. I don't like that. Don't like that at all. Big up to Afra. Big up to Imani. Like I said, big up to Dawani. Peace. Who was that? Spin Cycle Dragon? Fuck, I can't fucking read. Is my son in here? Tyler, my son is my niece in here. Alicia. is anyone in here? Is that Quaker? Quaker, thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much, Quaker, for always tweeting out the link to the Remix Morning Show on Black Power Media. We really appreciate that, Quaker. I'm sorry. Is that Franny France? The Franny France? Thank you, Franny France. Franny is an example out here. I'm trying to tell you. The opposite of a Karen is a Franny. Make no mistake about that. I bet you Franny France will smack people out here too. Don't cross her. she may come across very nice and pleasant, but I have a feeling Franny French will smack the shit out of a motherfucker, won't you, Franny French? I believe it. What's up, Christopher? Thank you so much. I'm trying to anyway. I don't know what happened to me between the hours of 4 and 7 p.m., but my condition has deteriorated a tiny bit. So let me go on and get through this. What's up, Sweary Fairy? Thank you so much. Hey, real quick, thank you to everybody that attended yesterday's Around the Fire Disability Support Chat, Support Sesh. Thank you so much to Anna Hart and Mama Lorraine. Thank you to Abby. Thank you to Afra. Thank you to all the people them who showed up. Peace, Kofi. Love to see y'all in here. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to out people for showing up to the support chat, but I just wanted to acknowledge you guys. Thank you so much for that. We do that every second Monday of every month because we acknowledge disabled people here and disability rights and issues surrounding inaccessibility because we are disabled people. I'm a Black woman. I lead this platform. I'm also a disabled Black woman. So I give a fuck about disabled stuff. So we will talk up the thing. But let me get into where we are today. Because here we are, approximately 10 days out from a 50-car train derailment that occurred in East Palestine, Ohio, which is on the Ohio-Pennsylvania border. And the company operating that particular train is Norfolk Southern, a very successful company, rail company, guys. And there's been a lot of reporting coming out in recent days, not only highlighting the kind of profits that Norfolk Southern has earned, simply even over the past year, profits in the billions, okay? But the ways in which the railroad lobby generally lobbies Congress and has been very successful at lobbying Congress to deregulate the safety measures that go along the nation's rail lines. Okay, guys, they've been running trains in America for what? Coming up on 200 years? And guess what? A lot of that same technology has not been updated in about 150 years. And as a result, we will likely experience more accidents like this, but this one that we're dealing with right now in East Palestine, Ohio, is pretty devastating. So, where do I want us to begin? Because, firstly, the ways in which the corporate media have, and to the corporate media's favor, I suppose, their luck would have it. We've had another mass shooting that happened in Michigan State, so that kicked this Ohio train derailment story down the priority list, and the number of other stories have come up. Super Bowl, obviously, but I want us to take a look at some of the accounts from people on the ground. Okay, and this that we are going to see. Roll that B-roll for me, Will, real quick. Let me talk over this real quick because the pictures continue to be pretty ridiculous. Even this is from February 3rd, okay? So this is this is who did this, More Perfect Union. Yes. A horrifying railroad incident took place. A Norfolk Southern freight train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio. You might have seen some footage and heard also that unions were trying to prevent this exact sort of disaster. And when you guys think about what the railroads actually said, actually, is that the railroad blowing up? Is that the very first piece that's on okay, I don't think we have the right thing playing, but because I know what that is. So there's someone talking under that. But there was pictures of the freight car exploding. It's the very first thing on the dock, Will. Okay, well, tell you what, if you don't have that ready, we can go ahead back to that piece that you played, because what Norfolk Southern and the East Palestine, Ohio officials said that they had to do in order to prevent a major explosion of the vinyl chloride and other hazardous, flammable, toxic materials that were being transported in that freight car or in those freight cars, they said they had to do what they called a controlled burn. But I don't think that the EPA was in on this decision. And not to say that the EPA is a great agency to begin with. If you find that footage, you could just roll it, Will, the first thing, the B roll. Um, so there's that. Okay, don't worry about it. All right, let's just go ahead and play that clip of the smoke and the hanging dark clouds of toxic chemicals that are hanging over Eastern Ohio and Western Pennsylvania. And you're going to hear the emotion from one of the residents there that was documenting and shooting these low hanging toxic clouds full of carcinogens. These are carcinogens that are now in the air, available for all to breathe in and breathe deeply. So let's take a look at that clip.
These aren't storm clouds. This is the fucking shit that they burn off. The fucking shit they burn off in East Palestine. This is not fucking storm clouds. Look at it. This is over Darlington. This is their fucking success. That ain't no fucking storm cloud. That's the fucking shit from East Palestine. Their fucking controlled burn. I'm ready. Let's get out of here. I wish we could get the fuck out of here. Motherfuckers. You fucking greedy motherfuckers. Impatient bitches. You could have fucking waited. You could have fucking cooled the tanks. You could have transferred the contents. You didn't have to do this. You did it because of time and money. That's exactly why you did it.
When I first looked at that video, I cried. I'm not going to even lie, y'all. I cried. I cried because I could feel the rage and the helplessness and the infuriation coming from that person, right? Thank you, Ascribe God Cod. Thank you, God. Yeah, I said that right, right? Ascribe God Cod. Thank you so. Yeah, I said that right. Yeah, Ascribe God Blessed. Thank you, Ascribe God Bless. Thank you so much for becoming a member here at the channel. We appreciate it. When I first saw that clip, y'all, I cried. I cried. Because just imagine you live in a community, wherever you live, right? And this happens everywhere in different ways. Does America and capitalism poison us, right? It poisons all of us all the time. Some more than others, depending on your class. And we could talk a little bit about class, a lot about class, as we get into this story here. Yeah, and those are the pictures I was talking about. Just imagine that horrific, ominous black cloud wafting up northwards, skywards. But, once the wind catches it, blows around, blows around. And the residents, not now, it's way outside of East Palestine, where people are starting to feel and see the effects of this chemical spill, this intentional chemical burn, as you heard there from the resident Darlington. I believe the man said where he was, where residents fully believe that Norfolk Southern had options. There was other options. This was not the only way to prevent a massive explosion of these very flammable materials. You heard the man said they could have cooled the tanks, they could have transferred the contents to other cars. But because Norfolk Southern needs them rail lines open, baby, the railroad don't make no money if the railways aren't open and available to transport commerce. They wanted to do the fastest, most expedient thing to accelerate this process. Let's just hurry up and get this on, get it on. Let's get these cars picked up and let's move this along so we can resume our massive profits making. Absolutely horrific, guys. And the fact is that Ohio Governor Mike DeWine was well aware of this, allowed this to happen. President Joe Biden also well aware, allowed this to happen. So what does that mean for the people of Eastern Ohio and Western Pennsylvania? We're going to listen more from these folks. So I want us to check out a clip, and guys, be easy. I just want y'all to relax a little bit because I want to take some time with this segment because really I want to hear from voices. I want to hear from folks. I'm not there. I can't speculate, but what I can do is hear directly from the mouths of the people who are there and who understand what the situation is. Big up to Jordan Cheriton and Status Quo News. Jordan has been on top of this. And we're actually going to play a clip from Status Quo. I think this is from yesterday or for possibly this morning. But he spoke with two residents there in southeastern Ohio. And I want you to hear them describe the ways in which they were told to evacuate and the ways in which Norfolk Southern, a company that posted record profits for the year 2022 for its shareholders, the ways in which they are treating these residents whose lives and potentially their health, definitely their health, their lives and their health have been, and the health of their families and their pets and the wildlife in their community and the water and their soil and their air, all the things humans need to survive has been tremendously upended by the greed and recklessness of this rail company, Norfolk Southern. So, listen to an interview Jordan did yesterday on Status Quo, speaking with one of the residents of Ohio, describing the ways in which they've been treated by officials and by the railroad company.
Once that started, once they announced that, we thought that was atrocious from the beginning. The way they wanted to do it. At first, the evacuation zone was a mile, and then once they decided to do the controlled burn, they made it 2 miles, and we just thought that was ridiculous. We saw that they evacuated that area. It is a poor area, impoverished area. Columbiana County itself is impoverished anyway, but that area where that train derailed at is very impoverished, and they were kicking people out of their homes. I mean, there's no other word to say that. Like that evacuation, leave right now. You got to go. Not Norfolk Southern wasn't there, but the sheriffs and the state police were there, escorting people out of their house. You have to leave right now. And so we were right on it then. We noticed that people were being shipped to hotels as far as Newell, West Virginia, which is about 35, 40 minutes away from East Palestine. They weren't allowed back in their houses. They weren't sure how they were going to pay for this hotel. Then the railroad decided that they were going to reimburse daily, which we thought was atrocious again. You're making people go from 30, 40 minutes away, drive back to East Palestine to the community center, and then getting a daily check to go back to the hotel and then redo again, right? And so why that was ridiculous is because once you have people who are living paycheck to paycheck, sometimes paycheck to other paychecks, we've all been there, having to pay for a hotel first and then go back to get money to reimburse, that could be a danger to them right away. It was food in people's mouths. Hotels were complaining. They were dropping people at sometimes, and then people would have to get back in the hotel. So.
Yeah, check out Status Quo News and Jordan's reporting there. Again, Status Quo is exceptional at getting people on the ground. And did y'all hear that? So I'm sorry, Norfolk Southern, a multi-billion-dollar railway company, is making residents whom they forced them, along with the law enforcement apparatus, forced them out of their homes for a safety hazard that Norfolk Southern caused, and you're making these people commute back to East Palestine every day for a per diem instead of just buying out the hotel block and saying, hey, everybody, here are your hotel room keys indefinitely until you are safely able to return back to your houses. No, see, that would be too much like right. And Norfolk Southern would assume that somehow their multi-billion-dollar profit share, record profit share that they got for 2022, that might be cut into by a couple $100,000 maybe by renting hotel rooms in the rural part of America for people who are fleeing a chemical disaster. A man-made disaster is what this is in East Palestine. So let's go to WYTV 33 local news, because this reporter, thank you, somebody get to the nuts and the bolts of the situation, not pertaining to rail car safety. That's another conversation, which, I'm certain we will be having in the immediate future. But in terms of the survivability of this event for human and animal alike, okay, guys, initially these people in East Palestine were told that they only had to evacuate for a couple days, but then it ended up being 5 days, several days. Everybody couldn't take their pets with them. People have come home to dead animals. They're dead pets. Let me tell you something, dog. Do you know? Do you fucking know? Do you know the wealthy white that would have to fucking answer for if I came home and my fucking dog was dead for some shit y'all did? Nigga, you don't want to know that. So let's check out this news package. This is WYTV, like I said, 33 local news, and they talk with a chemical engineer. Let me read this tweet. Actually, it was an epidemiologist who posted this tweet, not the actual reporter. But here's what the epidemiologist said in their description. It says, new toxins identified, quote, We basically nuked a town with chemicals so we could get a railroad open, said Sil Caggiano, who is a hazardous materials specialist. And let's pick up the package from there.
We now know 3 more chemicals that were on board the Norfolk Southern train that derailed here in East Palestine just over a week ago. And we're being told that some of those chemicals are dangerous.
We basically nuked a town with chemicals so we could get a railroad open.
The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency sent a letter to Norfolk Southern stating that ethylene glycol monobutyl ether, ethylexyl-acrylate, and isobutylene were also in the rail cars that were derailed, breached, or on fire. Caggiano says ethylexyl-acrylate is especially worrisome. He says it's a carcinogen, and contact with it can cause burning and irritation in the skin and eyes. Breathing it in can irritate the nose, throat, and cause coughing and shortness of breath. Isobutylene is also known to cause dizziness and drowsiness when inhaled.
I was kind of surprised that when they quickly told the people they can go back home, but then said if they feel like they want their homes tested, they can have them tested. I would have far rather they did all the testing.
Caggiano says it's possible some of these chemicals could still be present in homes and on objects until you clean them thoroughly.
Oh, there's a lot of what ifs, and we're going to be looking at this thing 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line and wondering, gee, cancer clusters could pop up, well water could go bad.
Caggiano recommends anyone who's in the East Palestine area get a health checkup. He says get a record of where your health stands now so that moving forward you have documentation of any possibly related effects to the train derailment.
Dog. First of all, that's sound fucking advice, okay? Go and get your body shit looked at right now. Your body shit. Listen to me. I can't even be articulate here. Get your blood checked. Get your levels checked. Get your health screened. If you live in the area, of course, right now, because you're going to need a baseline to compare it to after people are allowed back into their homes. After, I assume, they try to resume as normal activities as they're able, because the Cochrane firm is going to need to know this information. Okay, the Cochrane firm and Morgan are going to need to know the information, because when they sue the fuck out of Norfolk Southern, they're going to have to be able to prove that the new cancer that residents in this area have developed is from the chemicals that were released from that quote unquote controlled burn. Fucking bullshit. The other thing that came out, first of all, the hazardous chemical specialist, just giving it to you straight, no chaser. This is going to be a generational event for people living in that area. And again, not even just in that area, gang, because the wind blows shit around. The wind blows shit around. What is Pittsburgh? About 50 miles or so east of this location. People in Pittsburgh need to be on their P's and Q's right now, expecting an influx in their air quality of potentially this vinyl chloride that could come wafting in. Fuck, maybe that's what's wrong with my throat. Maybe the fucking vinyl chloride has made it all the way here to the East Coast and it's an irritant to my nasal and throat passages. Where's the Cochrane firm? Get Cochrane firm on the phone right now, because we filing lawsuits, baby. But no, seriously. You're not going to even be able to calculate the amount it's going to cost to clean up this shit. Okay. As we know plenty about forever chemicals, I don't know for a fact that vinyl chloride is or is not a forever chemical, but it sounds like a forever chemical. It sounds like some shit that don't come up with Clorox wipes. You feel me? It's going to be some big remediation of the soil, of the air, of the water. Well, you can't remediate the air, but of the, I don't know what the fuck they could even do about this. But let me tell you what they don't want to do. They don't want a lot of this information getting out. The responsible party, being Norfolk Southern, is doing a bang up job of controlling the information that is coming out of this disaster. Even so much so that they, not them themselves, but the law enforcement, the Ohio State Police, in fact, arrested a black journalist late last week, who attended a press conference in the area giving an update about the situation. And I'm not clear why this black journalist was arrested. Okay, News Nation's Evan Lambert was approached at a press conference by Ohio State troopers and asked to leave. When he said, "I'm doing my job, I don't have to leave," they locked him up. And the Ohio State Police, in fact, released a portion of the body camera footage of when Evan Lambert was arrested by police, and they have released it. Now, again, I am a lot skeptical of body cam footage released by police because it's all been edited in some way. It's been manipulated in some way. There are portions where there is no audio, but we've clipped up the 8-minute piece that was initially released. Big up to Scootercaster NY, because that's whose page I saw this 8-minute body cam footage on. So let me big up to them. I don't know if they found it themselves, but I like to credit folks when I find the shit. So regardless. So we're going to see 2 clips of the same incident. So the first clip is when the police rode up on Evan Lambert and locked him up. Evan Lambert gave a little bit of, some righteous verbal resistance. He knew what time it was. So he knew who he was, where he was, and who he was up against. So he complied. He complied with the fucking arrest. But the second clip we're going to see as part of this longer clip, but the second part of this clip we're going to see is Evan Lambert's white coworker trying to talk to the cops. Now, usually, I recommend the whites going to run interference for black folks regarding, police issues, especially when there are white police officers involved. But this interaction between Evan Lambert's white coworker and the white police was giving me big semi good old boy vibes, because the cop was definitely still did not give a fuck about these East Coasters at all, these East Coast liberals. But it was definitely some white man and white man understanding going on in that exchange. So we'll talk about that in a moment. This is going to be a few minutes long, everybody. It's compelling, so don't go nowhere. Sit there and check out this body cam footage released by the Ohio State Police pertaining to the arrest of journalist Evan Lambert when trying to participate in a press conference pertaining to the East Palestine chemical spill and train derailment. Let's take a look.
Yes, you want me to file charges on you right now? Go ahead. I am allowed to be here. Did you not see that man put his hands on shut it down? You continue to go. Now. Go. Now. Or you can go to jail. Sir. You want to go to jail for criminal trespassing? Do you want to go to jail for criminal trespassing? Do you understand? You know how quickly our lawyers will get me out? I don't care. Sir, can we I don't care. Let's talk outside. Go. Let's talk outside. Come out the door. Out the door. Out the door. By other media right here. I'm going to listen. I don't care. You're going to walk out the door. I'm going to listen. You're going to walk out the door. Do not touch me. Mine out, sir. You're going to walk out the door, or you're going to jail. Do not touch me. Sir, can we talk outside, please? I am trying to listen. Talk outside, please. And he escalated with me. I am doing my job. This is covered by the First Amendment. Excuse me, sir. I'm the building supervisor here. Please leave. There you have it. You're going to stand outside. Or you're going to jail. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Out. Out the door. Yeah. You're under arrest. Under arrest. Oh, sir. Oh my God. You guys, this is bad. Stop. I am on the ground. What are you trying to do? Okay, stop resisting. Stop this. Oh my God. Stop. You want to get this. This is so bad.
Lay behind your back. Lay flat. Lay flat, please.
You guys, he's a national correspondent. You cannot do this. I'm a reporter with News Nation. It's all being recorded right now.
I hope it is.
Excessive force because you can't talk to people about doing their jobs. Oh my God, I cannot believe this. What's that? This is horrible. This is what it's like to be a black reporter in 2023. Evan, I'm so sorry. Evan, I'm sorry. Thank you, Sia.
Pull over, sir. Get up on your butt.
Can you please loosen this because
We
it
will as soon as
hurts?
you stand up. That one is a little tight, so we are
Oh my God.
Thank you very much.
This is horrible.
Can someone help me?
Yeah, we're helping you, Mom.
Evan, I'm sorry. Oh my God. Horrible.
Do you have anyone out here? You got to record all that.
I did, sir. You want me to shut off?
No, you can keep recording.
Okay.
We just need to make sure that no one else comes in here that's not authorized to come in here. So.
Okay.
Rudeness or disrespect or anything. We've been waiting for, we were up there, we had a live shot scheduled to report on this at 5:15. Okay. That's locked in stone. So, coincidence of all coincidence, the governor literally walks out at 5:15. It's the worst possible timing in the world, okay? But there's nothing that we can do about that. He's committed to doing his live shot. He's got people talking to him. He doesn't know whether he needs to talk about.
Okay, let me stop you.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, please, but
Let me stop you.
I'm
The reason why, I understand that. The reason why he is where he is, he was told to leave. He refused to leave.
Okay.
Then the building superintendent comes over and says, I don't want you here.
Okay.
He still refused to leave.
I didn't.
So now
witness
he's arrested.
I didn't witness any of that.
That's his own fault he's arrested. All he had to do was pipe up.
I didn't.
And he just kept on arguing.
All I'm telling you is, from the television standpoint of.
I understand what
it's
you're
just-
trying to do.
it's
I understand
television.
you guys have a
It's
job
just-
to do.
Yeah.
But when he's told to leave
I understand.
by law enforcement, he does not.
I can't speak to that.
That's an
But
issue.
what I thought I might just be able to give you some insight on.
I understand.
From my side.
No, I understand you guys have a job to do. I get it.
It's just.
I get it. But when you're told to step out,
I
and
understand.
it even gets to the point where the building superintendent's coming over and saying, you need to leave.
Right. I understand. So,
that's
can you tell me where he is, please?
He'll end up at the Columbia County Jail.
Columbiana County Jail.
Yes.
Okay. Sir, what's your name?
Sure. Brian McLaughlin.
Sheriff McLaughlin. Thank you. I'm Preston Swigert. I'm
Okay.
the cameraman. Thank you,
Please.
Sheriff.
It's okay, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Your colored friend, the reason why he's in jail is because he wouldn't pipe down. Oh, I'm sorry. You're saying he's a journalist and he was actually doing his job and committing no crime while doing a live shot during a press conference for a state official, which I'm certain state officials are accustomed to other shit happening at their press conferences all the time. There are usually multiple things happening all at once, but for some reason, Black, and I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't know if Evan is gay or what. But he kind of gives me LGBTQ vibes, and I'm sure if I got them vibes, them redneck crackers got them vibes too, and then they was going to be doubly mean to Evan. Oh, you Black and gay, got you. Okay, go put your hands behind your back, Mr. Reporter. Mr. Your lawyers is going to come get you out. Did you hear the fucking pig? Evan said, our lawyers will have me out here in a minute. Pig said, I don't care. He said, I do not care. I don't care about your fancy pants lawyers there, Evan. Your Black ass is going to jail tonight in Lisbon, Ohio. So let me give you guys a tiny bit of an update because Evan Lambert, thankfully, he has been released, but he was arrested and he was hit with some charges, resisting arrest. Among, I think, one other charge he was also given during that exchange. You guys, when they're arresting reporters, there's some shit they don't want you to know, okay? And the fact that they are openly being hostile to reporters. Oh, hold on. Let me back up. Now listen. I don't want none of my white friends. Don't take up with me with the police if you're not going to defend me. If you're going to be like, sorry. If you're going to be like, oh, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I didn't see. My white friends would tell the cops, Kim is a professional. Okay. Kim was here to sit to complete an assignment. She was doing her job. And in fact, you have violated her constitutional and civil rights by interfering with her ability to cover public officials and newsworthy events such as this by arresting her in the middle of a press conference. That's what my white friends would do, but your white coworker, your white coworker, don't take up for me, man. Shut the fuck up, dog. Just go bail me out, man. Don't talk to the cops on my behalf. They have already come to their conclusions. Because if that guy was really an ally, which if Ed Lambert's white coworker was really an ally, he would have asked. Well, again, the video was edited, so let me not assume that the question was not asked, but I would have liked to have heard it on tape be asked, what did he do wrong? What is the thing? What is the law that he has violated? And of course, there you see how the white power structure links up with each other to back each other up. The white cops wanted him to leave, probably because Mike DeWine's people got pissed off because Mike DeWine, the Ohio governor, came in and began speaking right as Evan went to his live shot. So Mike DeWine's people probably sent the pigs over there to see him out. And when Evan said no, then the pigs went and got the building manager, the other white man in power in the room, and said, well, this is his property and he doesn't want you on his property. So he's telling you to leave. You refuse to leave. Trespassing. That is the other charge that Evan Lambert received. There was a protest tonight in Lisbon, Ohio, in support of the First Amendment, protesting the arrest of Evan Lambert. And I'm glad that there's that. But I don't quite understand why this is not like a national story. I mean, I'm sure it is. But like this, and maybe I'm wrong. Let me go to the chat. Y'all tell me if y'all seen it. Did they talk about this on the Today Show? did they mention this on Good Morning America? Sorry. Maybe they did. I'm so sorry to be coughing in y'all's ear. Something's jumping on me. I don't appreciate it. Nawadi, what's up, man? The governor's a cracker. That's not what Nawadi said. That's what I said. But Nawadi did say something pertaining to the governor. Hey, Latif, where you got your phone situated, honey? Thank you. Oh, and Latif has gifted 5 Burn It Down with Kim Brown channel memberships. Thank you so much for that, Latif. That's dope. Thank you. I'm glad you got your device working back good. Shout out to my mods. What's up, Courtney, Latif, and the In and Out Chuck Diesel? I appreciate y'all. So let's see. Norfolk Southern has been boasting record profits. They are oppressing the information that is coming in and out of the area. What is this thing that I have here? Pop up. And hold on. Wait. I did have some notes. Let me get to my notes. You guys, do me a favor. Like, subscribe, and share, and shit, and do those things. I certainly appreciate it. There was something else here that I did want to mention. Oh, yes. Okay. So this was the press release, and I don't have this up in the doc will, so don't worry about looking for it. But January 25th of this year, 2023, Norfolk Southern. I'm going to read this, guys. This was posted on Norfolk Southern's website, or it's a press release for its shareholders. Okay. If you go to their newsroom section, you should probably see this. And FYI, Norfolk Southern's New York Stock Exchange symbol is NSC. Okay, just in case you guys want to check out how NSC is doing, considering they have an ecological disaster on their hands, but I'm sure the profits are doing just great. Well, as of the end of January, they certainly will. They certainly were. So this reads, it says Norfolk Southern today announced its fourth quarter revenue and profit announcements, fourth quarter full year 2022 financial results. The company marked income. The company marked income from railway operations. Okay. And what the fuck did I just lose that? It said the company marked fourth quarter an annual record for railway operations revenue and for income from railway operations. It says that the fourth quarter railway operations revenue was $3.2 billion, up 13%. And income from railway operations was $1.2 billion, up 5%. In the fourth quarter and throughout 2022, Norfolk Southern made improvements and engagement with our craft team members, said Norfolk Southern resident, blah, blah, blah. Fuck them niggas. Listen, Norfolk Southern was a part of those rail barons, those robber barons, Warren Buffett and the like, who refused to allot 7 paid days off of sick time for railroad workers. They gave them a sizable salary increase, but y'all, even if you got a 25% boost on your salary, what the fuck would it mean if you're not able to call out sick? Sorry. I did not do that on purpose. if you're not able to call out sick, what's the fucking point? I think I need to finish this up. Well, if you could, do me a favor. Pop up that last piece of video because there is no sound to it. Before I get off this topic, and I'm doing a terrible job of reporting this topic because I keep hacking in y'all's ears. I'm deeply apologetic for that. But since this train derailment in Ohio, there have been at least 2 other train derailments. One happening in Houston. Do we have that video, Will? It says breaking. A Union Pacific train has derailed after hitting a truck in the Houston, Texas area. Some hazardous materials were being carried by this train. Do you have that video, Will?
Yeah, I got it. Hold on a second.
And, the right wing is hopping on Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and saying you need to do way better. And they're not wrong, okay? But this issue of rail safety, and these are the pictures over top of the Union Pacific Trail derailment. Just keep rolling it, Will, please. The Union Pacific Trail derailment that happened in Houston, Texas. I think this was recently in the past couple of days or so. I believe one person was reported to have been killed as a result of this train crash, but I don't think the details about what took this train off the rails has been released. But back to Pete Buttigieg. Sure, we can blame Pete Buttigieg, and I'm for, jumping on Pete Buttigieg. That's fine. But this predates Pete Buttigieg. The US government and its regulations are always at the will and the beckoning and operate at the behest of the corporate powers by their lobbying firms, okay? Many a transportation secretary predating Pete Buttigieg has kicked this can down the road, I'm guessing, for a few decades now, right? America's not interested in shoring up our infrastructure. We're not interested in safety of any kind, really, unless, something like this happens. And in that case, that a corporation is willing to take a big L on the chin and maybe cut in a little bit to those $5 billion profits that Norfolk Southern earned or stole from their workers last year. But they'll take that little bit of that big L on the chin and keep right on fucking pushing. You know what I'm saying? They made $5 billion in profits in 2022. Okay, they'll survive making only $3 billion in profits in 2023 as a result of this disaster. And then come 2024, it'd be business as usual. They back to clearing $5 billion profits, dog. They don't give a fuck, man. And that's why it is so imperative for us. I mean, to me, this is the real opportunity for coalition building, where poor whites overstand that nobody gives a fuck about them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the one thing they got working in their favor is that at least they not niggas. But, at the end of the day, they are at the low end of the priority pyramid when it comes to whiteness. Poor whites, by yourself. By yourself. But that's the thing. The poor whites don't have to be by themselves. And I saw some very bad takes coming specifically from liberals, and I would say some black, some white. But the tone of the response to what we're seeing in Ohio from some people online was that, oh, I guess these yokels got what they deserved, or these red state people might think about voting blue next time around, or this kind of thing wouldn't happen. That's absolute bullshit, because there's a Democrat in the fucking White House right now, and this happened. Ohio has been under Democratic rule before, and I'm certain the same shit would have happened under a Democratic governor. This is not about red or blue, y'all. This is about people. This is about workers versus the ruling class, the proletariat, the people that are struggling on the margins, simply trying to survive, being exposed the most to these sort of hazardous chemicals riding around our railways. I would guarantee that wherever the wealthy community is in Ohio, I bet you the train don't run nowhere near that bitch. Okay, the train don't run nowhere near that bitch. Please believe it. And it's time to really put the press on the Biden administration. Like, you sold Build Back Better as your signature legislative achievement of your first term, basically. Build back better, bitch. Start fucking building. The fuck you waiting on, man? Let's get this shit to cracking. Let's get these joints, these shovels in the ground. Let's start moving. But the problem is the Biden administration, much like the Trump administration, and shout out to David Sirota. Is that how you pronounce the gentleman's name, from the Lever News or the Lever News? Did a really good package, and I didn't pull it because it was several minutes long, but I still encourage you to go check it out. And it talked about the safety deregulations that Norfolk Southern and the railway lobby encouraged Congress to roll back. A specific railroad safety rule was rolled back under the Trump administration. It was an Obama era rule. And that's the thing the Democrats are so excited about. Like, oh, it was Trump who rolled back this Obama rule. Yeah, but I'm sure the Democrats didn't say fucking boo about it when it happened. So there's that. But this is you guys, this is a environmental justice story. This is a press freedom story. This is a capitalism is trying to kill us all story. And please don't let it die. Please don't let it wither on the vine. I've been looking at a assortment of different professional opinions from people who study industrial accidents like this. And what they say is that this is probably the worst kind of this incident. This is not Chernobyl, or what was the shit that happened when I was a kid? Is it 3 Mile Island? 12 Mile Island? What was the nuclear shit that happened in Pennsylvania? It's not that. It's not that, but it's bad. It's bad. And the thing is, we don't know what the final effects are going to be with this, for at least some decades. You know what I mean? The cancer clusters will pop up, but we've got lots of cancer clusters across this country, man. And I don't see enough cancer patients in the streets. No disrespect to the cancer patients, but I'm telling you, the cancer patients who have been poisoned and sickened by capitalism and its chemicals, we should be out there marching right along with them and making some very serious demands. And the time is now overdue. But I think it's an opportune time for some coalition building between rural whites in poverty, who are also now, not just now, but have been dealing with environmental injustice, with contamination and pollution of their waterways and their airways and their soil. How can we don't all link up, man? Can we get past the racism? Is that possible? I don't know if it's possible, to be honest. I would like to get past it, but the whites unfortunately have got to show me that they're not racist first. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to demonstrate to me that you are not a racist. So let's go ahead and throw on this rap record, and every time the N-word pop up, I'm gonna be watching your ass close as shit. Are you saying nigga, or are you being quiet when the N-word comes up in the rap song? The only proper response is to be quiet when the N-word comes up on the rap song, white people, okay? You don't get to say nigga. I don't give a fuck how cool you are. I don't give a goddamn. Don't you ever say nigga in front of me. It will be a problem. It's a problem. Friend or foe, biatch. It's a fucking problem. Anyway, Let me take a break. Jesus. Do me a favor, y'all. Oh, Jesus. Already 8 o'clock. My fucking bad. Jesus. All right. Let me move through this kind of quick here, guys. I think my throat hurts. Maybe I shouldn't be talking. But I'm going to finish this out. I think I sound good, though. This is like a broadcast microphone. So I'm back in my let's see, Jesus, how did I say it? Welcome, everybody. It's Chocolate City Soul, hosted by me, KB. Coming up, we've got a little bit of that Common. We're going to play y'all some roots, some poetry. The new one from Jill Scott's live album. What was the name of the Jill Scott's live album? Live 626 Plus. You know she recorded that right here in DC, everybody. Yep. So we got those live performances coming up for you right here. Give me a call, 202-42-TWKIS. I've got your tickets standing by. You want to go see Jilly at the MGM Theater. Be my 19th caller right now. Call me on the lines. I'm going to hook you up, guys. It's your girl, KB, on the radio. This is giving me those vibrations. Like, I used to destroy niggas on the mic. Listen, let me tell you, I'm not humble about the shit. I don't care what my current station occupation is in broadcasting. I don't give a single fuck as to how many subscribers is on this channel. Let me tell you something. I do not fuck around on this microphone, dog, and they know it. And they absolutely know it. So let me just be clear. This broadcast mic is giving me my fucking, I'm holding my nuts again. I love it. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. So anyway, let me get to my next shit because, and Will, I might hold that last story for Friday, just so in the interest of time. So I'm gonna turn you loose here in a second, but pop up the little Chiron for me, Will, because I think I wrote the headline here pretty well. It says, "Dumbass DC police shot innocent man," and I think that's a pretty succinct way to sum up the situation that occurred here in DC late last week. Okay. So we're going to go to a package for it that does a decent job of surmising some of the basic facts. But let me say this. And big up to DMV Black Lives for tagging me on the story. I saw the story, in regular reporting, because, again, I'm a bit of a local news hound. Not because I like to watch the local news per se. I think I like to watch it and then complain about it. So hold on. So there's that, but I appreciate DMV Black Lives tagging me on it because I did see it. So Metropolitan Police have been shooting people. We've done some stories here specifically about DC police killing people on scooters, shooting people straight up, killing a sleeping man in his car. As soon as he woke up, he looked up, tried to get away from the cops. The cops lit him up, shot him dead. And it doesn't seem to end here. But the amount of police shootings that happen in DC, to me, they don't really get national attention, which is pretty fucking telling, right? This is the nation's capital. The police here blam on folks all the time. Does not make the news outside of this area, but I digress. So, late last week, DC Police Chief, Metropolitan Police Chief Robert Conti, a black man, stood at a podium, had a press conference, where he announced that Metropolitan Police were in search of somebody accused of domestic violence. The person was accused of hitting a woman in public with some sort of object and then fleeing the scene. And the police were trying to find this person. So this is where we're going to pick up with the package, because the dumbass fucking cops, and I don't know if it was a white cop or a black cop who shot this individual. It really doesn't fucking matter because he was a piggy piece of shit. And he deserves to be charged with attempted murder. And hopefully we will eventually get there. But let me bring you up to speed here. So, Will, let's cue up that Fox 5 DC package, okay? So what we are going to hear, and big up to, again, DC DMV Black Lives, it said, and they captioned this in the tweet. It says, the man the DC police shot was not the subject that they were looking for. The story that Chief Conti told and that the press at the press conference on the same was already made no sense. And now we know why. Now we know exactly why what Chief Conti said at that original press conference didn't make any sense, because the cops didn't know what the fuck they were talking about, per usual. So we'll let Fox 5 DC pick it up. Let me give a content warning here, trigger warning. You're going to hear details about police brutality, about police violence. You are going to hear from a Black mother who is understandably upset that her son, who was minding, this man could not have been minding his business more before Metropolitan Police decided to put a bullet in his stomach. And for what? So, just a heads up there, you're going to hear some disturbing details being described. So, let's check out this package.
Information about an officer-involved shooting in Southeast D.C. Police now say the man they shot Friday was not the suspect they were searching for after they were called to Good Hope Road for an assault.
First on Fox 5, we are hearing from the mother of the man who was shot. Nana Santio Bonsu has the latest on this investigation that has many questioning what happened.
Guys, the mother of the man who was shot by a D.C. police officer on Friday tells me her son is currently in the ICU, handcuffed to his hospital bed.
And you know you shot the wrong person. You know he wasn't the person that you were looking for. And you're going to tell me my son is handcuffed and I can't see him?
Dorothy Hose has not seen her son, Stephen Shaw, since he was shot by a D.C. police officer Friday morning.
That's my son on the ground.
This is video captured by a witness moments after the shooting. You can see 38-year-old Shaw in handcuffs on the ground. Police were called to this area of Good Hope Road in Southeast about an altercation. When they arrived, they found a female victim who told police a man hit her with a metal box, threatened her, and left the scene. One officer started searching the area for the suspect the woman described and approached Shaw, who was in the passenger seat of a parked car.
And I'm the young lady that was driving the car that Stephen Shaw was shot in.
His mother witnessed the shooting. She says the officer asked Shaw to step out of the car several times.
So Steve was like, I'm not getting out my mother's car because I didn't do anything.
Police say Shaw did not comply and reached into his waistband before the officer fired his weapon.
I seen when he shot him, and I saw like a light and then the smoke. And Steve said, man, why'd you shoot me?
Shaw was taken to MedStar Washington Hospital Center for surgery, where he was also arrested for possession with intent to distribute cocaine. Another man, 59-year-old Wallace Lewis, is facing several charges in connection with the assault and is the man that police were originally searching for.
If he wasn't facing you, then how were you facing?
Dorothy stopped by the hospital on Sunday but wasn't allowed to see her son.
And they said the bullet ripped his whole stomach apart, okay? They said that they had to replace everything, damn near.
During our interview, Dorothy got a call from her son's doctor. He's doing much better.
Yeah, I took out his breathing tube, so he's breathing on his own and he's talking and stuff, and I just had a good full conversation with him.
Early in the investigation, Chief Robert Conti was looking to speak with Dorothy, the driver of the car.
So I'm appealing to her, please, we really need to talk to you.
She tells me she panicked when she heard the gunshot.
I was nervous. That's the only reason I left.
But ended up going to the precinct to speak with police.
Something definitely needs to be done. He didn't do anything wrong. You already admitted that he was not the person. You made a mistake. But yet still, you got him laying there. He can't even walk again.
Now, D.C. police says the officer involved in this shooting is currently on administrative leave, and that body cam footage is currently under review.
You know, just kind of listening to the agony in Miss Dorothy's voice, it's very upsetting. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to, get emotional here, but I was just, just listening to the exacerbation, the frustration, the bewilderment, the hurt coming from that Black mother. Because again, I'm sorry, her son is in ICU for what? Because he was sitting in the passenger seat of a car because Metropolitan Police was looking for a person 20 years his senior and somehow mistook him for being in his 50s. And the man who had a right to refuse to comply to police officers because, again, he committed no crime. I'm scared of police. I'm not getting out the fucking car, man. I, too, am not getting out the car, especially if I'm not driving. Miss Dorothy, I'm so sorry that this has happened to Stephen. Stephen, I am sorry, and I hope that they have removed the handcuffs from Stephen. And the fact that Stephen is charged with anything is an absolute outrage. because they had no probable cause at all to search him. I'm hoping that there is a very quality criminal justice attorney that is going to step up and represent Mr. Steven and give him a zealous defense, because how the fuck you going to charge this man with possession of cocaine? What probable cause did you have to search him? Oh, because he did not fit description of a suspect that you were looking for? Make it make fucking sense. These charges are bogus. They will be thrown out. They will be dismissed. But you know what's not going to be thrown out? The bullet that Steven took to his stomach. His mother said that they took everything out. They had to replace everything. Do you know what I read from that, or I discerned from that? I'm sure Steven, all I hear is colostomy bag. You know what I'm saying? When you get shot in your stomach, in your lower abdomen, all your, you got a lot of organs down there. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of shit down there. And bullets tend to ricochet. They tend to go different directions once they penetrate the body. This man is in intensive care. And these fucking heartless ass pigs who put him there would not even allow his mother to come see him. On the DMV Black Lives Matter tweet that accompanied that package, they said, and I don't know who authored the tweet, but I know the account, it was posted to the account. They said, you wanted more police, you got it. This is what more police in your community looks like. More innocent people who didn't have nothing to do with nothing being shot and being charged criminally themselves for being innocent and not doing anything. I'm sorry. Failure to comply does not equal you get to shoot me, cop. It doesn't. It doesn't. And excuse me, 1 second. Sorry. That bullshit that the reporter reported, that propaganda, that cop stenography that she reported when she said police said that the suspect made a movement towards his waistband and that's when he was shot. You know what I didn't hear? Follow up that little nougat. I didn't hear that Steven had any weapons on him. I'm sorry. So niggas can't even fucking adjust their belts. You can't even adjust your fucking waistband. You can't scratch your stomach. You can't scratch your balls. You can't do nothing reaching in the crotchal region when in the presence of police, lest these scary ass soft as scrotum skin cowards seem to think that their lives are constantly in danger when they themselves are the danger. The point that I wanted to make about this case, again, tragically, these types of incidents usually do not make national news. Like the pigs have to murder somebody, right? And they have to murder somebody who was completely being 100% innocent, right? Because if the person somehow ends up shot by police and they were jaywalking, well, they were breaking the laws, is the usual American reaction to shit, right? But we don't talk a lot about the aftermaths of when police violence ends up creating disabilities within folks, okay? This is one of those. One of the most notable instances in recent memory is that of Jacob Blake. Was he in Wisconsin? Where was that, guys? Was that Kenosha? Help me out, chat. I can't recall. I believe that was in Wisconsin. Yes, I don't think it was Minnesota. The young man who was walking back to get in his truck where his 3 children were in the truck, and the cop, this fucking coward ass cop, had his gun trained on Jacob's neck for the entire duration. As soon as Jacob went to get in his truck and leave the scene, the police put many bullets in him, paralyzing him. During the 2020 uprisings in response to the murders of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, a lot of people caught rubber bullets in the eyes, y'all. A lot of people lost eyes during the 2020 protests. It's a madness to even think about. And the number of people who actually survive police shootings and police beatings. Likely, if Tyree Nichols had survived, he would have possibly been dealing with some sort of permanent injury, like a permanent disability. And we don't talk about that enough. We talk about police murders, but we don't talk about when police permanently disabled people. And I don't think an encounter with a cop should forever alter your life or alter the way that you live your life. And I don't think the state is as accountable financially for those types of injuries as they are when it comes to murders and high profile lawsuits filed by people like Ben Crump. In fact, Ben Crump should get on this shit, to be honest. And not to say that he's not on it. I don't fucking know. I don't keep up with Ben Crump by and large. But I would like to see a movement surrounding people being compensated for the long-term and or permanent physical impacts that they end up suffering with for a lifetime after a violent encounter with the police. And it's always the police who are being violent. As you heard in that story, Stephen was sitting again in the passenger seat. He wasn't driving. The cop asked him to get out. He said, "For what?" And the cop thinks that just because he say get out, Stephen got to get out. And I'm so sorry that Stephen ended up shot, but he should not have been shot. And this cop should not have their job. This police officer needs to be fired. They need to be charged with attempted murder or reckless endangerment or some other sort of felony that would hopefully preclude this person from ever joining the police force or any police force ever again. Because if you're just willing to shoot people in the stomach who are scratching their bellies while saying they don't want to get out the car because you're a fucking scary little coward who I don't even know why the fuck these cops even show up to work. You think everybody's shooting at you every goddamn day. You fucking pussies. And that's the only reason I call them a pussy, because I know pussy lands. When I tell them that they start off the scrotum skin, and they got to think about that shit for a couple seconds before they figure out what exactly it is that I mean. But regardless, the people who are disabled by police violence deserve as much of our attention, as much as of our organization, as much of our support as do the families of those murdered by police. So I just wanted to put that out there, guys. So last thing before we sign off, this morning on Black Power Media, we found out in real time about the passing of Marshal Eddie Conway, the Black Panther veteran based out of Baltimore who served 43 years in prison for a murder that he was framed for. Eddie was released from jail about 9 years ago. And after coming out almost immediately, he was hired by the Real News in Baltimore, where he was able to continue his work of advocacy and organizing and Black liberation and doing it in the video news form. And I wanted to bring on Will here for a moment because that's how Will and I know each other. We both worked at the Real News at the same time. We were laid off at the same time also. But Will also knew Eddie. And even before we went to air here tonight, Will was filling me in. Will, I didn't know that you knew Eddie like that. I didn't realize that you had that type of, mentor, mentee, uncle, nephew, or even father, son sort of relationship with Eddie Conway. I'm sorry. Let me send my condolences to you because you knew Eddie and Dominique, his partner, that well, and I'm very sorry to hear that Eddie has departed us. But talk to me about your memories of Eddie and what Eddie meant to you, having the opportunity to get close to this veteran Panther who had endured so much, and who I'm sure taught you a lot too in the process.
Yeah, you right. As far as like Eddie is definitely a father figure for me. Um, I'm not from Baltimore. I'm from Richmond, so coming to Baltimore and just after getting that warm embrace and really literally welcoming me into his family and being around in important moments and also, being a part of Tubman House and just help guiding me to volunteering and teaching at the rec center and different things like that. So it was to have somebody believe in you and, you know, it means a lot. Like that's one of the hardest things, just kind of knowing that like you lost somebody that just was like, you a superstar, you one of my sons, like type energy. So
Wow.
yeah.
Tell the people about the Tubman House who may not be familiar with the
All
work
right.
that Eddie was doing there and what Tubman House is.
So Tubman House was a farm that was created outside of Gilmore Homes. It was right across the street from the Freddie Gray mural, if you've ever been out there in that area. So we just would give out codes and anything that we can. We would hold political education classes, um, all of course, led by Dominique and Eddie, and just learn and from him, and he would share stuff and his ideas on different things, and also being able to feed yourself and the community and learning how to grow things is just like the time of my life. Honestly, it's very formative. As a man, I want to continue to do that type of stuff, and any way I can, and seeing that in real time, and especially after 44 years of prison, that can turn you very cold in a lot of ways. And just to see how warm of a spirit he was, it just was. I'm just feel like I'm blessed to be around it.
I agree. Like, I felt saddened to hear that Eddie passed this morning. But to be honest, like, I felt a little bit of peace around it because I know Eddie had been sick, and I don't like to see or know that people are suffering, you know what I mean? And to what extent, his sickness was, I'm not sure. I don't even think it's our business. But his partner tweeted that he passed away in Long Beach, California. So I'm glad, and I hope that Eddie got to feel the warm sunshine on him before he made his earthly transition. Um, is there anything that you think or you want us to know about Eddie? Maybe some pearl of wisdom that he imparted upon you as a black man trying to survive the system of capitalism, and knowing everything that he endured and what he had survived, because he didn't it wasn't a guarantee Eddie was going to come out, you know what I mean? He was in there 43 years. A lot of, Kalanji mentioned this morning, that he was one of the political prisoners that folks on the outside didn't think would ever come out, but he did, and he certainly maximized as much as he could the time that he had available, doing the most in the most liberation minded way. Is there a pearl of wisdom that Eddie shared with you that you would like to share with us?
Um, I would need some time for that because it was just so much, and I would say just more or less his demeanor and how he really was just trying to have a good time. He would always be making jokes, always have some witty thing to say, and I just what I took from that was mostly you just really try to enjoy yourself every single day. Like, do what you can, smile today, tell a joke, do something that will, lift you. Because this man, could be broken down in so many ways, and like, well, people don't appreciate me type of thing. And it's like, it's not even nothing about none of that. It's about doing what you say, standing on it, and being a man, and enjoying yourself, and loving your community, your woman, um, and just the future. And he had so much faith in the
And
community and
you.
the youth. Yeah,
Hmm.
he would always be like, "We in good hands. I see stuff doing. I see movement." So um, I try to remember that all the time.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Will. I appreciate you coming on here and sharing something personal and something that was meaningful to you, your relationship with Eddie, as we commemorate the transition and the passing of Marshall Eddie Conway. I think Eddie was 76 years old, veteran Panther. Please, I don't ever say this, but go to the real news and go watch Rattling the Bars. I'm sure they have it set up in a playlist where you can get caught up on all of Eddie's shows that he did talking about incarceration and organizing and trying to gain more for the people that were locked down behind the walls. So rest in peace to Eddie Conway. Guys, that's the show. I thank you all so much for enduring me. I'm sorry. I don't feel great. My throat is getting scratchier. I think I'm definitely not doing status coup tomorrow. It is in doubt whether or not I'm going on the Remix Morning Show as of right now. I'm like, I don't know about that, Chief. So we'll see. But anyway, thank you, Holly. Thank you, Afra. Thank you, Franny Francis. Thank you, Dawn Bird. Peace, Tafari. Thanks for coming through. Come through. Ascribe. God bless. Thank you so much for your new membership. Thank you, Latif. Thank you, Feminist News Network. Thank you, Holly. Holly have a tendency to shout you out like multiple times. It's like I can't never remember. Did I shout out Holly? You shouted out Holly, Kim. Holly got her proper shout out. Hey, let the comment show. God damn it. You know what? I'm not fucking with this shit. Anyway, y'all. Be safe. Thank you, Latif. Again, thank you guys. I will feel better. Don't fret not about me. Thanks, Wendy. Thanks, Jazzy Poo. Thanks for coming to the live show, Jazzy Poo. Kim, we got another Kim in here. Hey, Gamandis. Hey, Valley Girls. Hey, I'm feeling better. Big Tail, where have you been? Have you been here, Big Tail, all along? Did I just miss you? Anyway, I got to get out of here. Alice, thank you, baby. Yeah, I'm about to go get me some tea. Mint, lemon, ginger, all that shit right now. So listen, y'all, COVID is still out here jumping on people. I hope it is not jumped on me finally. I'll keep y'all updated. I hope it is not finally fucking jumped on me. This is be some bullshit if it has. But please, mask up, wash your hands, social distance, all the shit I thought I was doing, except when I went over to my mama's house for the Super Bowl. I was not wearing a mask. Because I'm at my mama's house. It's just me, her, and like two. You know what? I'm gone. On behalf of Will and Molly, thank you all so much. Please don't forget to support the Arizona Abortion Fund. You can click on the Linktree link that is at the very top of the chat in the chat box. It will take you directly to the Arizona Abortion Fund. That's who we're supporting for the month of February. The channel supports these abortion funds $50 a month, and we ask our Fire Fam to match us for $5. That's it. Just throw down a little something on that abortion, please, and thank you. Okay, gang. Y'all be easy. Thank you so much for your well wishes, gang. I expect to see y'all back here Friday. I don't know about tomorrow, but definitely Friday, okay? Love y'all to peace, Fire Fam. Thank you. See y'all later. Bye-bye.